Well, good afternoon. I put on our Facebook page, you may have noticed, to memorize a passage from Proverbs. I hope you did that. If not, it's Proverbs 21:23. The one who guards his mouth and tongue keeps himself out of trouble. It's 21:23, and there is a lot to be said of that, because in the book of Proverbs, the book of Proverbs has a lot to say of keeping your mouth closed. I don't know about you, but a lot of times as a parent and as a child growing up, many times I heard, you better watch your mouth, or bite your tongue, or watch what you say around them. There's always a warning. Even in James chapter 1, we read, everyone must be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger, for man's anger does not accomplish God's righteousness. A couple of verses later says, be a doer of the word, not just a hearer only. Tonight, we're going to make Avalanche cookies. And you think, oh, Avalanche cookies. Well, a lot of times as we're going about through life, there are a lot of distractions. And now with social media, people have a tendency to think or text or tweet or put on message things that they just don't think before they type it out. And the problem with that is, as you're typing, you actually have to think that out. It's not just spontaneous. You're doing something on purpose. So it's just another way of saying, watch what you say, because a lot of people, they don't know what you're meaning. So the Avalanche cookies, you'll need the rest, 16 ounces of white chocolate. This is a pack of 12. This is a 12-ounce pack. So I know I'm going to need more than that. So I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to kind of choke it off a little bit and pour some in there. Hopefully that's going to be about 16 ounces. I don't know what 16. It'd be a pound, I guess. This is going to be melted in the microwave, and instead of using peanut butter, I'm going to use a half of cup of sun butter. This is made with sunflowers instead of peanuts. You can use a half cup of almond butter or any other. You probably couldn't use like butter, but dairy butter. But if you a favorite nut that's pureed into that consistency, then that would probably do well. If you accidentally dip, that's okay. This is going to go in the microwave because we want it to melt. You'll probably want to keep tabs on that because bowls get really hot. So when you're taking it out to mix and stir and make sure everything's getting melted, you're going to want to
oven mitt.
An oven mitt. Thanks. I couldn't think. Sorry about that.
You're my favorite nut.
So while that's melting, and a lot of times the recipe and on the internet is going to say check that every 30 seconds, give it a stir, but I know our microwave, and I think I have time to at least show you what we're doing next. So I'm going to use 3 cups of Rice Krispies and 2 cups. Oh yeah, see it's not even, it's still loose in there. Gotta keep going further. So I'm gonna have 3 cups of Rice Krispies. You can use the generic brand is going to be okay because we're not having this for breakfast. Oh, and you'll probably want to eat dinner before you start making this, because if not, you're going to eat some as you're mixing it up. That's just what's going to happen. I'm going to put 2 cups of mini marshmallows, and if it's a rounded cup, that's okay. So what this is basically doing is, if it's an Avalanche, you're making it with, what do I do? Here we go. If it's an Avalanche, that usually happens in the mountains, you know, snow. See, it's starting to get a little better mixed up. We've got a little ways to go. So, alright, stick this back in here. Because the other thing that's in the mountains and the Avalanche, sometimes trees get caught up in that. Now, you can put mixed nuts or peanuts or pretty much anything like that, but because I'm not sure if the person that's going to eat this may be allergic to peanuts, I'm going to use pretzels for the crunchy part, and this is made with sunflowers. So I got to crunch these all up. You can do it with your hands, or you can get a roller and just, these, you just want them crunched up good. You don't have to have them pureed. I still have some air in here. There we go. All right, I think that'll about do it. So we want a cup of this. If you have anything else, you'll want to use just a cup. Hey, wow, that's all right. So now I have all my dry. Let's do that, all that. All right, so I have all my dry ingredients ready to go. Let's check this. My spoon. All right, so all right, there we go. Now, because it's warm, all these smaller pieces, as I'm mixing this up, and because of my bowl is warm, that's probably gonna keep melting. And you notice how light that is. If you wanted to make, if you didn't have white chocolate to make Avalanche cookies, you could use, let me get a smaller mitt so I can handle it better. So if you didn't have white chocolate, you can still make these, but you would make them and it would look more like a mudslide cookie because you'd be using chocolate. And as a matter of fact, this afternoon, when I got home kind of preparing and looking at this, I got, instead of using white chocolate, I used milk chocolate morsels, and instead of using the sun butter, I used Nutella. And I still did the same thing with, whoops. I used the same thing as far as the pretzels, the mini marshmallows, and there you have it. These are ready to be spooned out, and what we're going to do is we'll move them over here. My hands are, make sure your hands are clean. It's still kind of warm, so you'll want to do this kind of quick. And these are going to be your Avalanche cookies. Wow, the bowl is still warm. So just make sure as you're scooping these out, especially if you have children helping you or younger brothers and sisters or somebody, that if they're scooping it out, you hold the bowl, because if they're touching the bowl, it does get kind of warm. Now remember, you could press these down into a mold or a pan that's greased and then cut them, but then it wouldn't look like an avalanche. It would just look like an avalanche that settled and somebody got a chainsaw out and cut it up in big blocks, and then it would be like an igloo. So we don't want that. We want a cool looking cookie. All right, almost done here. All right, here we go. I know the suspense is killing me. Me too. I think I can get 2 more. Whoops. I'll put 1 more over on the. And you need to save just a little bit on the spoon and the bowl, because you're going to want to go in and clean that up and lick it all off. So leave some in the bowl, because when these go in the refrigerator to set, you're going to want to at least check the taste on them. I don't have room in my refrigerator because I'm going to show you what they look like. So once they set up, that's what they're going to look like. And I'll get the, oops. And this is, so this is the mudslide cookies, and this would be the Avalanche, made with white chocolate. The only thing, I would have coffee, but because it's chocolate and it's cookies and it's just so good, I'm gonna have a little bit of milk that's cold. If your milk is, just so you know, if your milk doesn't stay cold, get you a small scoop of ice cream and put in there, and your milk will stay cold, and it's delicious. Oh yeah. These are really light because the marshmallows are still nice and fluffy. You get just enough crunch from the Rice Krispies and the pretzels, just a little bit of that salt from the pretzels. It's a shame I didn't have dinner yet, because I may want to have eaten too many of these. The chocolate ones are really good. I had one of those before we started. Y'all, these are really easy to make, kid friendly, company friendly, and I think everybody would love these. You can do a whole lot with them. So with that in mind, I hope you guys have a great evening. Remember, he who guards his mouth and his tongue keeps himself from a lot of trouble. So be sure, think before you speak. God bless you. Y'all have a great evening.